Hello there, internet friends. I'm Ryan, and this is Demos in the Dark. And tonight we are looking at a new one from Sitek. This is a phaser, and it's called Phasia. Phasia is a multi-stage OTA-based phaser with lots of sculpting capabilities. You have some standard controls that you're used to seeing, like a rate and a depth, then a feedback control, which is very cool, as well as a symmetry control, which we'll get into because it's awesome. Then you got a choice between a couple of different waveforms, and you can choose between 4, 5, or 6 stages. So we're going to take it here, run it down on a mix on multiple guitar tracks, as well as keys and maybe the occasional drum fill. And then come on back here and we will run through this puppy all by its lonesome. Take a deeper dive into Phasia from Sitek, but first I am running a Fidelity Guitar Stella Rosa Lite 2 into a 68 custom Fender Pro Reverb. Sounds like this. Let's start with the controls on this puppy. Up top, we have a rate control. That is the rate of the LFO. Next to that, we have a depth control. That is the overall depth of the effect. Next to that, we have a feedback control, and that controls the amount of phase shifted signals sent back through the filter. Beneath that, we have a symmetry control, and I really like the symmetry control. It distorts the selected waveform, changing its duty cycle to asymmetrical. So if you go noon on it, that is symmetrical. And if you go one way with it, that will be asymmetrical in one direction. And if you go the other way with it, that will be asymmetrical in the other direction. It's very cool. Then we have these two great toggles here. Waveform selector. We can choose between a hypertriangular, a sine wave, and a triangular wave. And then you can choose between 4, 5, and 6 stages on the phaser. Also, a nice modern touch on an analog phaser. There is tap tempo on this puppy, a quarter note tap tempo. That is hugely helpful if you're trying to sync up those LFO waves. If you're using something besides guitar, or if you're playing in a whole band and you're just really trying to get that thing down tight, that's a great, great tool. So I have everything running in the middle right now. including the toggles. And let's just kind of get down some of the basic functions of it. We'll concentrate on the top row here, on the rate and the depth and the feedback. Next, we're gonna hit the Symmetry control, which I really, really like. And if you remember, it's straight up and down at noon. We're looking at a symmetrical setting on that. And if we go counterclockwise with it, we are going to get a longer LFO rise with a shorter LFO fall. And if we go clockwise with it, we will get a short rise with a long fall. It's super cool. Let's check it out. Next, we're going to check out these two toggle switches here. The top one is a waveform selector. We've been running in the sine wave in the middle. Let's change it over to hyper triangular. we'll go back to the sine wave. And lastly, for the triangular. Last toggle we have on here is the stage selector. We have a choice between 4, 5, and 6 stages. We've been running in 5 because that is the middle, and we ran everything up the middle at the start. So let's go over to 4. And then we will go back to 5. And lastly, for 6. So there you go. That's just a brief look at Phasia from Sitek. What a phaser. It's a super cool phaser. You know, like if you're like me, you're kind of tired of the Phase 9 to your dad's phaser, you know, like the Eddie Van Halen, you know, that kind of stuff. And you want to do something new and something fresh with that effect. Well, this pedal will do a lot of that for you because there's so many options and so many ways you can use this in modern music and stuff other than rock and roll. So it's really, really great. I am a huge fan of this. And to you, thanks for your time.